It can be so frustrating when someone interrupts you, whether you're in a meeting or in a conversation and wham, someone just starts talking over you. Some people really struggle with this more than others, get quite confrontational, get quite angry. Some people go within themselves and start really holding resentment. Either way, it's not a nice feeling. So in this video today, we're going to look at some of the reasons why people might interrupt you. And by the way, they're not all bad. And then we're going to look at 3 things that you can do to manage the situation in a positive way the next time somebody interrupts you. So different personalities will interrupt you for different reasons. And for this example, we're going to use the DISC personality framework: dominant, influencer, steady, conscientious. So a dominant person will interrupt you when they feel like you are starting to miss the point. They like accuracy and they like speed and they like results. So if they think that what they've got to say is going to get things back on track, they will go ahead and interrupt you. That is the way that they work. An influencer style personality will often interrupt when they get excited, when there's a reason to say something that's going to bring you together and unite you and allow you to collaborate on something, and they'll share and show their emotions in a conversation or a meeting. So that's why those types of people might interrupt you. A steady personality style will rarely interrupt you, if I'm completely honest. They're more likely to just be taking in everything that you're saying, and even if they feel like they've got a point to bring to the conversation or that they can steer the conversation into a more productive place, they'll often just sit in silence. But that resentment will start to build, and you'll often get some sort of feedback afterwards in an email or a conversation later on that might suggest a different opinion. And a conscientious personality style will interrupt you when they've got some data, some information, some facts that hold your relevancy for that moment in that conversation. So now we know some reasons why people might interrupt you. Let's look at what you can do to manage that situation a little better. The first thing we can do if we feel like we're being interrupted is we can use time. We can say something like, I just need a little bit more time to finish explaining my point. Or, if you'd allow me just another 30 seconds, I'm almost finished saying what I want to say. Or you might say something like, I just need 10 more seconds, and then I'd love to hear what you have to say. When someone interrupts you, it's often because they're trying to get their point across. So to manage that situation, you can say something like, I've almost finished making my point. Once I have, I would love to hear yours. Being interrupted can feel very frustrating. I wouldn't usually advocate for a question like this because it's a yes or no question. And normally I would recommend you to use open questions, but this is being used on purpose to create permission. It's a small permission in the form of, is it okay if I finish my point? You can use this in a few ways. You can literally say, is it okay if I just finish what I'm saying? You can also say something like, I'm still talking. I'll finish what I'm saying and then I'll let you know. Is that okay? And it just gives you that little bit of permission to continue talking. And remember, the reason someone interrupted you isn't always because they're being aggressive or they're causing conflict. It can be a number of reasons, as we've already alluded to in this video. Now remember, these are just cues and scripts. And when you're in the heat of the moment and you're in a conversation and someone interrupts you, it can be hard to remember what we've talked about in this video. But you've got to practice these things. This is a skill, just like anything else. The points that I've shared in this video today can help you to create what we're all trying to achieve here, which is a productive and positive environment for communication to flourish and for you to get to where you want to get to. We talk to each other in many different ways, and language is just one of the ways that we communicate. We've got non-verbal communication, tonality, and we've also got digital communication through email, text, WhatsApps, and everything else. But communication is so important in this day and age, probably more so than ever. And for you to be that leading version of yourself, it's about taking ownership and responsibility for your words and the way that you communicate. The more you practice this, the more feedback you'll get, and you'll find your way of doing things. But these are just guidelines for you to use. One thing's for sure, if you go into a situation, any conversation in a group or one-to-one, and you don't have a strategy, then you may feel a bit triggered, you may get angry, or you may hold that resentment, and none of that's good. What we're doing here is we're working on ways that you can lead yourself and lead a conversation as that best version of you, so that you can arrive at productive and positive outcomes when you're having these conversations and when you're communicating with other people. So thanks for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it and found it useful, subscribe to my channel because I make videos like this all the time to help you become that leading version of yourself and communicate in the best possible way. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.